Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to the English class after the Onam holidays. So, this session we take up a new topic. This is from module 4, last module. You can find this in page 127 of your textbook. Page 127 of your textbook. It is a language module and it begins with an activity. So let us just go through what is written in that activity. Let us try to understand what this activity is about, and then we will move into that topic. I think people are just joining, so we will not be going too fast. Just wait. Okay. Yes. So here, if you look at this instruction in this activity, it says that we have to read that paragraph and you have to find the sentences which are directly spoken by somebody. So that is the instruction. I'll repeat. The instruction is that we have to identify the sentences which are directly spoken by someone in the paragraph. So my question is, how do we identify the sentences which are directly spoken when we read a paragraph? How can we identify them? How can we identify which are those sentences which are directly spoken by someone? Is there any way of identifying sentences which are directly spoken by someone? I'm waiting for your responses. Is there any way of identifying direct speech, directly spoken sentences by someone?
Sir, quotation കൊടുത്തിട്ടുണ്ടാവില്ലേ?
Exactly, that's right, Sri Lakshmi. What you said is right. It is by looking at that quotation marks. That is how we identify. അല്ലാതെ വേറെ മാർഗമൊന്നുമില്ല. By looking at the punctuation. Okay. So there will be what is known as inverted commas. This is what helps us to identify the sentences which are directly spoken or directly spoken by someone in a paragraph. So that is called a conversation. So conversations are usually marked by inverted commas to identify them or to separate them from other sentences in the paragraph. So we look at these sentences in this paragraph, we can see that there are many such sentences which are directly spoken How do we identify them? We identify them by looking at the quotation marks, as Sri Lakshmi has rightly pointed out. It is by looking at these quotation marks or inverted commas that we identify which are those sentences which are directly spoken. So the first, there are many such sentences. One such example is given here. So this is the first one. You have to attend an interview by Skype tomorrow at 10 a.m. IST. Yes, that is the first one. So we can even make a list of those sentences which are directly spoken. Okay, the next one is this one. Will you please turn up the volume? So that is the second. The second sentence which is directly spoken by someone. Here it is somebody, the interviewer. Okay, there are different people. So the people who are speaking are mentioned before or after the quotation. So first the HR manager is speaking, then the interviewer is speaking. Okay. Okay, the next directly spoken sentence is again identified by using these inverted commas. So this is the next one. Can you tell me something about yourself? That is the next sentence which is directly spoken by the interviewer. Then the next directly spoken sentence is this one. Why did you apply for this post? And the final sentence of the paragraph is also directly spoken. If you look at the responses of the candidate who participated, so this is an interview. This is obviously an interview, an online interview. If you look at the responses of the candidate, that is the candidate's name is Raji here. If you look at the responses of the candidate, all those responses are not given in quotations. Okay. So this is one response from the candidate Raji. This is also spoken by her, but it is not given in quotations. Why is it not given in quotations? She said something, but it is not given in quotation marks. It is not given in inverted commas. Why is it not given within inverted commas? എല്ലാവരും ഉറക്കത്തിലാണ്. ഓണസദ്യയുടെ ക്ഷീണമൊന്നും മാറിയില്ലേ? ഹലോ, okay. Yes. Okay, please respond something, say something, or chat, type in something in the chat box. So that will make the session lively. Yes. Thank you for those responses. Okay, so Sri Lakshmi had typed something there. So what she has said is mentioned there, but it is not given in inverted commas. So there is a specific reason why it is not given in inverted commas. It is not directly spoken by her. For example, yes, when when somebody says something, for example, when I say that Jisna said something, it is not Jisna directly speaking. I am telling that Jisna said that. So when I am talking about somebody else's speaking, I don't put it within inverted commas. Only when I am reproducing their words without any change, then I put within inverted commas. അവരുടെ വാക്കുകൾ അങ്ങനെ തന്നെ എടുത്ത് എഴുതുമ്പോഴാണ് quotation marks യൂസ് ചെയ്യുന്നത്. But when I am reporting a conversation by someone, we don't use inverted commas. So here in this highlighted sentence here, Raji introduced herself and said that she was a diploma holder. So whereas what would she have actually said? Suppose I try to remember what she said in her own way. Suppose I reproduce it as she spoke. അവർ സംസാരിച്ചതുപോലെ ഞാൻ സംസാരിക്കുകയാണെങ്കിൽ how will I write it? I will write it within inverted commas, but the words would be different. Okay. So suppose I am reproducing the words of Raji, then I can put it within inverted commas. So this is what is called a direct speech. Okay, when Raji is saying, I am Raji, I am a diploma holder, then I can put it within inverted commas. Okay. But here, in this sentence, it is not Raji saying, the person who has written the paragraph is telling about Raji's speech. Raji ingane paranju ennu verralu parayanu. That is called reporting. So look at the difference in the structure of the sentences. Even there is a change in the words that are used on those sentences. Raji said, I am Raji, I am a diploma holder. When I report it, it is said that Raji introduced herself and said that she was a diploma holder. So why do we use it? What is it? What is this reported? എന്താണ് ഈ സാധനം? Why do we use it? How do we use it? What is this purpose? എന്തിനു വേണ്ടിയാണ് അത് യൂസ് ചെയ്യുന്നത് എന്നും കൂടി മനസ്സിലാവുമ്പോഴാണ് we are able to use it in sentences. Okay, so we have to understand how to use these things in sentences. So what is it? What is it? It is, you can say that it is somebody else reporting. For example, there is this boy Tom speaking in this first picture. He says, I am feeling ill. So that is directly spoken by Tom. But when in the next image, you see that somebody else is asking about Tom, and the person who is responding says, he said, that is Tom said, he was feeling ill. So I am feeling ill has changed into he was feeling ill. So what is it, reported speech? It is the kind of grammar, or it is the kind of language that we use if we want to tell somebody else about a conversation. ഒരാൾ സംസാരിച്ചതിനെ കുറിച്ച് നമുക്ക് വേറൊരാളോട് പറയണമെങ്കിൽ യൂസ് ചെയ്യുന്ന the kind of language, the kind of grammar is called reported speech. So there are some changes that happen. Okay, so there are many changes that happen. So some major changes are here. Okay, so some major changes that happen are listed here. It's not just the change in the tense. So there are certain word changes, that is the pronouns, adjectives, etc. change. Some adverbs change. Adverbs means now, here, then, there, etc. അങ്ങനെയുള്ളതിനെയാണ് adverbs എന്ന് പറയുന്നത്. There is changes in pronouns, my, his, their, etc. All these pronouns, they also change. Let us look at one other example to understand what are those changes that happen. Just look at this example. My favorite film is on TV tonight. I love comedies. So what is she? So the lady's name is Mrs. Brown. She said that we are not putting within inverted commas, so we have to change the words. Original sentence aanengile we can just put within inverted commas. Okay, but when we are reporting, we can make changes. Suppose this is I am going to put it as a direct speech. Then how will I write? I will write like this. My favorite film is on TV tonight. I love comedies. This is called a direct speech. Okay, this is a direct speech. But when I report it, there are certain changes that happen. What are the changes? There is a that added. You can see that there is a that added. So that itself indicates that it is not directly spoken. It is, I am reporting the speech of Mrs. Brown. So some changes happen. The changes are highlighted there in different colors. You can see that her is highlighted. Okay, my has become her. Is became was. Tonight became that night. And I became she. Love became loved. So these are the changes that happen. Okay, these changes happen. Pronouns changes. So changes in pronoun. In this sentence, these are the changes that has happened. My became her. I became she. There are certain tense changes. That is, am became was. Love became loved. And the time words tonight became that night. So these are some of the common changes that we find when we makes a change a sentence in reported speech. So there may be some other changes also that happen. The major changes are related to tense. Okay. So to simply explain what tense is, we can just say that tense is related to time. So there is no need to worry about these things. It is very simple. Tense is something which is related to time. Tense എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാൽ ടൈം ആണെന്ന് നമുക്ക് പറയാൻ പറ്റില്ല, ടൈമുമായിട്ട് ബന്ധമുള്ളതാണ്. Because there are certain tense forms which are used in all tenses. So tense is related to time. So if you understand this, we can make certain changes. We can understand what are the changes that happen. Here you can see that am has become was. Love has become loved. So what is that am? Am is present tense. And was is past tense. Similarly, love is present tense. Loved is past tense. So it is actually going one step backwards. If you look at this slide, it will tell you what changes happen. It is actually going one step backwards. Simple present will become simple past. Simple past will become past perfect. And present perfect will also become past perfect. What will past perfect become? Past perfect will remain the same because there is no backward space to go. അതിനേക്കാളും ബാക്കിലേക്ക് പോകാനായിട്ട് സ്പേസ് ഇല്ലാത്തതുകൊണ്ട് പാസ്റ്റ് പെർഫെക്റ്റ് ടെൻസിലുള്ള ഡയറക്റ്റ് സ്പീച്ച് ഇൻഡയറക്റ്റ് സ്പീച്ചിലും റിപ്പോർട്ടഡ് സ്പീച്ചിലും will remain the same. There will not be any change. When I say indirect speech and reported speech, they are one and the same. There is no difference between indirect speech and reported speech. Is this much clear? So far, is it clear? Is it okay? Okay. Yes. Yes, I will explain once again. That is, when something is spoken by someone, ഒരാൾ എന്തെങ്കിലും പറഞ്ഞു കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ അത് നമ്മൾ അവരുടെ വാക്കുകൾ അങ്ങനെ തന്നെ പറയുകയാണെങ്കിൽ നമ്മൾ മാറ്റമൊന്നും വരുത്തേണ്ട ആവശ്യമില്ല. We can just put it within inverted commas and just reproduce the same words. You don't have to change the words. Okay, so that is what I said. If you are putting within inverted commas, you are just actually reproducing their own words. So that is called a direct speech. Okay, this is direct speech. But when I change it, when I am reporting what I said, there are some changes that happen. So what are the changes that happen? Changes happen on with different words. ഈ ഡിഫറെൻറ്റ് വേർഡ്സിന് പറയുന്ന പേരാണ് പാർട്സ് ഓഫ് സ്പീച്ച്. അതായത് നൗണ്, പ്രോനൗൺ, അഡ്വേർബ്, അഡ്ജക്റ്റീവ്, യൂസ് ഡിഫറെൻറ്റ് തിങ്സ് ടു മേക്ക് എ ബിൽഡിംഗ്. ഒരു ബിൽഡിംഗ് പണിയാൻ പല സാധനങ്ങൾ ഉപയോഗിക്കുമെന്നതുപോലെ പലതരത്തിലുള്ള വാക്കുകൾ ഉപയോഗിച്ചാണ് ഭാഷ ഉണ്ടാക്കുന്നത്. So there are certain changes which happen with different parts of speech. Mrs. Brown said, my favorite film എന്ന് പറയുമ്പോൾ ഞാൻ മിസ്സസ് ബ്രൗൺ പറഞ്ഞതിനെ കുറിച്ച് പറയുമ്പോൾ മിസ്സസ് ബ്രൗൺ എനിക്ക് ഈ പടം ഇഷ്ടമാണെന്ന് പറഞ്ഞു എന്ന് എനിക്ക് പറയാൻ പറ്റില്ല, കാരണം it causes confusion. If I say Mrs. Brown said that my favorite film എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാൽ is wrong. Why is it wrong? It can create confusion that it is the സ്പീക്കറെ കുറിച്ച് പറഞ്ഞാണോ എന്നൊരു സംശയം വരും. എൻ്റെ ഫേവറേറ്റ് ഫിലിം ടി വിയിലുണ്ടെന്ന് മിസ്സസ് ബ്രൗൺ പറഞ്ഞു എന്നൊരു തെറ്റിദ്ധാരണ വരും. So to avoid that confusion, exactly, yes, Joffy. So that is why we make these changes. അല്ലാതെ ഈ ചേഞ്ചസ് വെറുതെ ഒരു രസത്തിന് വരുത്തുന്നതല്ല. Everything that we use in language is for clarity. വ്യക്തത വരുത്താൻ വേണ്ടിയിട്ടാണ്. അല്ലാതെ ഈ ചേഞ്ച് വരുത്തണം എന്നൊരു നിയമമുണ്ട് എന്നതുകൊണ്ട് ഞാൻ ചേഞ്ച് വരുത്തല്ല. നിയമം എന്തിനു വേണ്ടിയിട്ടാണ്? നിയമം മനുഷ്യന് വേണ്ടിയിട്ടാണ്, ക്ലാരിറ്റി ഉണ്ടാവണം, വ്യക്തതയ്ക്ക് വേണ്ടിയിട്ടാണ്, എല്ലാം സ്മൂത്തായി നടക്കാൻ വേണ്ടിയിട്ടാണ്. ജീസസ് ക്രൈസ്റ്റ് once said that law was made for man and man was not made for law എന്ന് ഭയങ്കര ഫേമസ് ആയിട്ടുള്ള സ്റ്റേറ്റ്മെന്റ്. മനുഷ്യന് വേണ്ടിയാണ് നിയമങ്ങൾ ഉണ്ടാക്കിയിട്ടുള്ളത്, അല്ലാതെ നിയമത്തിന് വേണ്ടി മനുഷ്യനെ ഉണ്ടാക്കിയതല്ല. ഇറ്റ്സ് എ വെരി വെരി കേൾക്കുമ്പോൾ തമാശ പോലെ തോന്നുമെങ്കിലും ബട്ട് ഇറ്റ്സ് എ വെരി ഡീപ്പ് തോട്ട് പ്രൊവോക്കിംഗ് സ്റ്റേറ്റ്മെന്റ് ബൈ ജീസസ് ക്രൈസ്റ്റ്. The law was made for man and not man for the law. So why has these laws been created? It is for clarity in language. So what are the changes that happen? Changes happen with certain words like pronouns, certain verb forms. അതിനാണ് ടെൻസ് എന്ന് പറയുന്നത്. അതായത് പ്രസന്റ് ടെൻസ്, പാസ്റ്റ് ടെൻസ് ആവും. പാസ്റ്റ് ടെൻസ് അതിൻ്റെ സീനിയർ മോസ്റ്റ് പാസ്റ്റ് ഫോമിലേക്ക് പോകും. അതായത് സിമ്പിൾ പാസ്റ്റ് ആണെങ്കിൽ പാസ്റ്റ് പെർഫെക്റ്റിലേക്ക് പോകും. പാസ്റ്റ് പെർഫെക്റ്റ് will remain the same because there is no one senior than past perfect. So it will remain the same. പക്ഷേ വൺ സ്റ്റെപ്പ് ബാക്ക്വേർഡ്സ് അതാണ്. ഫ്യൂച്ചർ ടെൻസ് ആണെങ്കിലോ വിൽ, ഐ വിൽ ഡു എന്നുള്ളതാണ് ഫ്യൂച്ചർ ടെൻസ്. ദാറ്റ് വിൽ എന്നുള്ളത് വിൽ ബിക്കം വുഡ്. വിൽ ബിക്കംസ് വുഡ്. സോ ഐ വിൽ ഡു എന്ന് ഒരാൾ പറഞ്ഞാൽ, സപ്പോസ് ജോഫി സേസ് I will do. So when I report Jofi's speech, I will say Jofi said that she would do. And now okay, so this is how I would write. Jofi said that she would do. So this is how the response is done. Jofi said that she would do. So these are the changes that happen with. Then time words. Tonight becomes that night. We will discuss these changes again. Here, these are the verb changes. Present, simple present became simple past. Simple past became past perfect. Present perfect became past perfect. And ഇവിടെ ഇനി പാസ്റ്റ് പെർഫെക്റ്റ് കാണിച്ചിട്ടില്ല കാരണം പാസ്റ്റ് പെർഫെക്റ്റിന് വീണ്ടും മാറാനൊന്നുമില്ല. It will remain the same. That's why it is not shown here. See, pronouns and adjectives changes. So, you are stupid. I was stupid because you can be anything. We, he, ഏത് വേണമെങ്കിലും ആവാം depending upon the situation. So, these changes happen according to the situation, who is speaking to whom. For example, when I am telling you, you should submit the assignment, the teacher said that, told the students and all. But suppose I am talking to Jofi, you should submit the assignment. Then it would be the teacher told Jofi that she. So the you will keep changing according to the situation to whom it is spoken. So that is how these changes happen. Why are these changes happening? The changes are happening to make it clear. Clarity undakkan vendittu. That is why we make these changes. Is it now clear? Okay, thank you, Selection. Okay, Geoffrey. Okay, there are some other changes also that happen. For example, if somebody says, suppose Subida said, okay, suppose there is such a sentence, Subida said, can you come? This is a direct speech by Subida. I cannot repeat it in the same structure because she is asking it in the form of a question. Subida is asking this in the form of a question. I cannot repeat the same question. Can you come? For example, if I translate it into Malayalam, സുബിത ചോദിച്ചു നിനക്ക് വരാൻ പറ്റും. സുബിത എന്നോട് നിനക്ക് വരാൻ പറ്റുമോ എന്ന് ചോദിച്ചു എന്ന് പറയാൻ പറ്റും. എനിക്ക് വരാൻ പറ്റുമോ എന്ന് സുബിത ചോദിച്ചു എന്നോ. Which means I will have to change the type of sentence also. Words മാത്രമല്ല ചേഞ്ച് ചെയ്യുന്നത്. In certain situations, we may have to change the type of sentences also. Because what kind of a sentence is this? This is a question. Okay, we have to change that question into a statement when you are making into a reported speech. So the question becomes a statement. So we have to change it into a statement and then make it into a reported speech. So how will I change it? Subida said എന്ന് നമുക്ക് പറയാൻ പറ്റില്ല കാരണം because it is a question. So can I say Subida said? No. Yes, Srilakshmi, we have to say Subida asked. Yes, that's right. Subida asked. So we have to write Subida asked. And we may have to introduce certain other words to give the effect of the question. Because this can you come is a question which is asking for an yes or no. Yes or no question ആണ്. ഒന്നുകിൽ yes അല്ലെങ്കിൽ no എന്ന് പറയും. അല്ലെങ്കിൽ നോക്കട്ടെ എന്ന് പറയും. isn't it? Maybe എന്ന് പറയും. So such questions are called yes or no questions. For such questions, yes, Joffy, we can use whether or if. Whether അല്ലെങ്കിൽ if use ചെയ്യാം. That is right. So Subhita asked whether. Subhita asked whether. So if she is asking me, I can say whether I can will become, can is simple present, it will become past tense. Whether I could. Okay. Yes. This is how it would change. If you do an exercise on this, it will make it more clear. It is here we have an activity here. This is in the next page. That is in page 128 of the textbook. Textulladana activity. So what are we doing when you change a question into a statement? We are doing just the word order changes. Word order മാറ്റാണ് ചെയ്യുന്നത്. How do we change the word order? Is this a pen? I can make it easily into a statement by changing the order of the words. How have we changed? This is a pen. Yes. Did he write the exam? So that has to be written in 2 steps. ഇത് നമുക്ക് 2 steps എഴുതാൻ പറ്റുള്ളൂ. He did write the exam. He did write നെ combine ചെയ്തിട്ട് നമുക്ക് he wrote the exam. Let us do that exercise. Then it will be easier for us to change sentences into statements. Are you ready is a question. Interrogation, interrogatives, questions are. There are 2 kinds of questions. We have discussed that there are 2 kinds of questions. Yes or no questions. Questions. Yes or no questions and WH questions. Yes or no questions which will take only yes or no for an answer. WH questions are questions which contain the question words W or H. Who, what, which, when, where, why, and H എന്ന് പറയുന്നത് how എന്ന് പറയുന്നത്. So these are the 2 types of questions, yes or no questions and WH questions. So how do we change a question into a statement? So are you ready? It is easy to change it into a statement. This can be easily changed into a statement by just changing the word order. എല്ലാ സെൻറ്റൻസസും അങ്ങനെ ഈസി ആയിട്ട് ചേഞ്ച് ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റില്ല, ബട്ട് മോസ്റ്റ് ഓഫ് ദീസ് സെൻറ്റൻസസ് ക്യാൻ ബി ഈസിലി ചേഞ്ച്ഡ്. ഹൗ ക്യാൻ ഐ ചേഞ്ച് ഇറ്റ് ഇൻ ടു എ സ്റ്റേറ്റ്മെൻറ്റ്? ഐ ക്യാൻ സിംപ്ലി റിമൂവ് ദി ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻ മാർക്ക് റിമൂവ് ചെയ്യുക, എന്നിട്ട് അതിൻ്റെ വേർഡ് ഓർഡർ മാറ്റുക. Then it becomes a statement. Are you ready becomes you are ready. So what are the changes that I did to make it into a statement? I removed the question mark and then changed the structure of the sentence. Okay. But it is the structure or the syntax which decides what type of sentence it is. അതൊരു ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻ ആണോ സ്റ്റേറ്റ്മെൻ്റ് ആണോ എന്നൊക്കെ തീരുമാനിക്കുന്നത് സ്ട്രക്ചറാണ്. വേർഡ്സ് മാത്രമല്ല. വേർഡ്സ് മാത്രം കൊണ്ട് നമുക്ക് ക്വസ്റ്റ്യനോ ഒന്നും ഉണ്ടാക്കാൻ പറ്റില്ല. യു ഹാവ് ടു റൈറ്റ് ഇറ്റ് ടു ദ പ്രോപ്പർ സ്ട്രക്ചർ ഓൾസോ. സോ യു ആർ റെഡി ഈസ് ദ സ്ട്രക്ചർ ഓഫ് എ സ്റ്റേറ്റ്മെൻറ്റ്. So we remove the question mark and change the structure, it becomes a statement. Next one, how will you change this one? We just need to change the structure. Yes, that's right, Suvida. You will come tomorrow. Exactly. You will come tomorrow. It has become a statement. I removed the question mark and then changed the structure. Very good. Okay, the next one. Did he apply for the job? Remove the question mark, change the structure, make a small change with the verb because I did applying കൂടെ ഒരുമിച്ചാക്കണം. So there are two ways in which we can write. You can write it like this, or you can also write he did. Yes, Shima, that's right. He applied for the job. So you combine did apply എന്നുള്ളത് combine ചെയ്താൽ applied out. So he applied for the job. Okay. Next one is slightly more difficult, but because you have to introduce a new word, ഇത് കുറച്ച് ബുദ്ധിമുട്ടൊന്നും പറയാൻ പറ്റില്ല, but you have to introduce a new word. കാരണം ഇസ് വെച്ച് നമുക്ക് അവിടെ ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റില്ല. ആ ഇസ് വെച്ച് അതൊരു സ്റ്റേറ്റ്മെന്റ് ആക്കാൻ പറ്റില്ല. ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റും, അപ്പോഴും പുതിയൊരു വാക്ക് ഇൻട്രൊഡ്യൂസ് ചെയ്യണം. How can you? There are two ways in which, at least two ways in which we can make it into a very good Shima. It is your plan. It is your plan is correct. Okay, it is your plan. This is your plan. Have വെച്ച് ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റും. Can anybody write a sentence with have? Yes, Subhita, that's right. You have a plan. So these are the ways in which we can convert it into a sentence. You have a plan is correct. Okay, the next one. Does he go to his office? Does he go to his office? You have to remove the question mark, combine does and go, and make it into a statement. He does go to his office. പറയാം, പക്ഷെ അതിനേക്കാളും ഈസി എന്താണ്? You can say he goes to his office. That's right. He goes to his office. Yes, Joey. This is very easy. Just need to change the structure, remove the question mark, and the statement is ready. Nothing to add, nothing to remove. You just need to change the structure and remove the question mark. So what will it become? You can, very good, Shima. It is, you can call me later. Very good. So you have now understood, it seems. This is also easy. Was he congratulated by his friends? Was he congratulated by his friends? Again, you can just remove the question mark, change the structure, and it becomes a statement. Yes, he was congratulated by his friends. That's correct. And the next one also. Why are you late today? So we can remove that. So with such WH questions, you have to remove the question mark and also have to remove the why. Unless when you make it into a reported speech, then you can use that why in that reported speech. But when you are making it into a statement, you can remove the why. Yes, Shima, that's right. You are late today has become a statement. So you are late today. Okay, yes, Safina, that's right. So I think now it is clear how you can change the statements by changing the word order. ഈ വേർഡ് ഓർഡറിനെയാണ് നമ്മൾ എന്ത് പറഞ്ഞത്, സ്ട്രക്ചർ അല്ലെങ്കിൽ സിൻടാക്സ് എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞത്. ഈ വേർഡ് ഓർഡർ ഇസ് സംതിങ് വെരി ഇമ്പോർട്ടൻറ്റ് for us to understand. Word order is the structure of a sentence. It is also called the syntax of the sentence. Syntax is actually a technical term which is also used, not only is used first in language, nowadays it is also used in programming. So if you are learning programming, you can find such. Syntax is something very important for programming. If the syntax is not correct, any program will not work. Okay. So this is what you had been asking about. What are the changes that happen? So the changes is very simple. The changes are all present tense will change to the past. ഇത് മനസ്സിലാക്കുകയാണെങ്കിൽ you can understand what are the changes. എല്ലാ പ്രസന്റ് ടെൻസും പാസ്റ്റ് ടെൻസ് ആവും. പാസ്റ്റ് ടെൻസസ് അതെല്ലാം പ്രസന്റ് പെർഫെക്റ്റ് ഫോമിലേക്ക് പോകും. പെർഫെക്റ്റ് ഫോമിൽ എന്ത് പറ്റും? പെർഫെക്റ്റ് ഫോം വിൽ റിമെയിൻ ദ സെയിം, കാരണം അതിന് വേറെ ഒന്നിലേക്കും മാറാനില്ല. അപ്പോൾ ഡയറക്റ്റ് സ്പീച്ചിൽ ഒരു പെർഫെക്റ്റ് ഫോമിലുള്ള ഒരു സെൻറ്റൻസ് ആണെങ്കിൽ it will remain the same in indirect also. I'll give you an example. Shima said, I had slept. It is in past perfect tense. So I cannot do anything with the tense, but I can change the pronoun. So I will change she, I will become she, but I will keep the tense the same because past perfect will remain the same even in indirect speech. So it will be rewritten as Shima said that she had slept. This is the only change that happens is I have added that, and also I became she. Yes, Geoffrey, that's right. Shima said that she had slept. So these are the changes in tense that happen. So how can you identify what are those changes that happen? So do, what happens to do? Do becomes did. Okay. Yes, very good. So that is the one second, I will show you another slide. It is, see, these are the changes in tense. You can easily understand by looking at this table. Am or is will become was. Are becomes were. കാരണം സിംഗുലർ ആകുമ്പോൾ വാസ്, പ്ലൂറൽ ആകുമ്പോൾ വേർ. ഇത്രയേ ഉള്ളൂ വ്യത്യാസം. രണ്ടും പാസ്റ്റ് ടെൻസ് തന്നെ. വാസ് എന്ന് പറയുമ്പോൾ സിംഗുലർ ആണ്, വേർ എന്ന് പറയുമ്പോൾ പ്ലൂറലാണ്. ഹാസ് അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ഹാവ്, ഹാസ് എന്ന് പറയുന്നത് സിംഗുലർ ആണ്, ഹാവ് എന്ന് പറയുമ്പോൾ പ്ലൂറലാണ്. പക്ഷേ പാസ്റ്റ് ടെൻസിൽ സിംഗുലറിനും പ്ലൂറലിനും കൂടി ഒന്നേ ഉള്ളൂ, ഹാഡ്. അതുകൊണ്ടാണ് അവിടെ ഹാഡ് മാത്രം വന്നിട്ടുള്ളത്. പ്രസൻറ്റ് ടെൻസിൽ സിംഗുലറിന് ഹാസ് ആണ് പ്രസൻറ്റ് പെർഫെക്റ്റ്ലി യൂസ് ചെയ്യുന്നത്. പ്രസൻറ്റ് ടെൻസിൽ പ്ലൂറലിന് ഹാവ് ആണ്. പക്ഷേ പാസ്റ്റ് ടെൻസിൽ പ്ലൂറൽ ആണെങ്കിലും സിംഗുലർ ആണെങ്കിലും ഹാഡ് മാത്രമേ ഉള്ളൂ. Then see becomes saw. Can't becomes couldn't. ഇനി can ആണെങ്കിൽ could ആവും, can't ആണെങ്കിൽ couldn't ആവും, will ആണെങ്കിൽ would ആവും, will not ആണെങ്കിൽ, will notനെയാണ് won't എന്ന് എഴുതുന്നത്. ഓക്കെ, will not എന്നുള്ളതിൻ്റെ ഷോർട്ട് ഫോം ആണ് won't. will notൻ്റെ ഷോർട്ട് ഫോം ആണ് won't. So the will not will become wouldn't. Will ആണെങ്കിൽ would ആവും. See, these are the changes that happen in the tense. Do becomes did. Am or is doing, depending on the subject. If I is the subject, then it will be I am doing. If she or he is the subject, then she is doing or he is doing. So present continuous becomes past continuous. That is, all present forms will change into the past tense. Present continuous will become past continuous. Simple present will become simple past. Present perfect will become past perfect. So here is doing is singular present continuous. Are doing is plural present continuous. So singular present continuous past will become singular past continuous, that is was doing. Singular plural plural present continuous will become plural past continuous, that is are doing will become were doing. And present perfect will become past perfect, that is has done. Has done എന്ന് പറയുമ്പോൾ singular ആണ്, have done എന്ന് പറയുമ്പോൾ plural ആണ്. In the past perfect tense, singular and plural have only one form, that is had. So had is used with both singular and plural in the past tense. So it is easy for us. കാരണം സിംഗുലറിന് വേറെ പ്ലൂറലിന് വേറെ ഇല്ലാത്തതുകൊണ്ട് ഹാഡ് നമുക്ക് രണ്ടിനും യൂസ് ചെയ്യാം പാസ്റ്റ് പെർഫെക്റ്റ് ടെൻസ്. So these are the changes that happen. And let us do some exercises to understand what are those changes. This is from page 129 of the text. See, the changes that we discussed are here. Can you help me with this problem? Reena asked me. So it is an yes or no question. So the connecting word used is if. So if it is an yes or no question, we can use connecting words if or whether. രണ്ടും മാറി മാറി ഉപയോഗിക്കാം, ഇഷ്ടമുള്ള ഉപയോഗിക്കാം. We can use if or whether, if it is an yes or no question. So Reena asked me if I or whether I. What will happen to the tense? Can will become could. Very good, Geoffrey. That's right. Can will become could. Yes, Shima, Sri Lakshmi, that's right. Mary said, I don't like spicy food. Mary said that. Because this is a simple statement, that ആണ് യൂസ് ചെയ്യുന്നത്. എസ് ഓർ നോ ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻ ആകുമ്പോൾ ഇഫ് അല്ലെങ്കിൽ വെദർ യൂസ് ചെയ്യും. സ്റ്റേറ്റ്മെന്റ് ആകുമ്പോൾ ദാറ്റ് യൂസ് ചെയ്യും. ഏതിനൊക്കെയാണ് ദാറ്റ് യൂസ് ചെയ്യുക? ദാറ്റ് ഇസ് യൂസ്ഡ് വിത്ത് പ്ലെയിൻ സ്റ്റേറ്റ്മെന്റ്സ്, then with exclamatory statements or plain statements. For all these things we will use that. Okay, then with the if yes or no questions we will use if or whether. What will be used with the WH questions? With WH questions we use the WH question word itself. So why ആണ് question word തന്നെ ആയിരിക്കും നമ്മൾ റിപ്പോർട്ടഡ് സ്പീച്ചിലും യൂസ് ചെയ്യുക. We will see that example. WH questions we will use the WH question word itself. How ആണ് question word എങ്കിൽ how തന്നെ നമ്മൾ indirect speech using. And if it is an imperative sentence, what are imperative sentences? Imperative sentences are requests or commands. With imperative sentences, we use to. That is what we use with imperative sentences. To is used. So with plain statements and exclamatory sentences, that using. Mary said that. It's a plain statement. So it is, we use that. So exclamatory sentences and plain statements, declarative sentences, we use that. With questions, yes or no questions, we use if or whether. With WH questions, we use the WH question word itself. And with imperative sentences, that is command or request, we use to. So this is an yes or no question. Are you at the office? So what should we use? Are you at the office? Use ചെയ്യാം. Yes or no question. So what will we use? Are you at the office? Celine asked Diana. Celine asked Diana. Yes or no question? Yes, if she was at the office. Yes, Shimashi Lakshmi. Yes, that's right. If she was at the office. So if അല്ലെങ്കിൽ whether use ചെയ്യും. ഇതിൽ നമുക്ക് ചോയ്സിൽ if ആണുള്ളത്. So we use if. If are you എന്നുള്ളത് she ആയി, are എന്നുള്ളത് present tense ആണ്, അത് was ആയി, at the office remains the same. So we also discussed that there are some other changes that happen. Here you see Sanjay asked me, what are you doing now? So these words also change. Now becomes then. What are those changes? Yes, Shima. So let us understand what are those changes. Here now becomes then, today becomes that day, this week that week ആവും, tomorrow എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാൽ അത് indirect speech വരുമ്പോൾ the next day ആവും. yesterday എന്ന് direct speech ഉണ്ടെങ്കിൽ indirect speech അത് day before അല്ലെങ്കിൽ the previous day. അതേ വാക്ക് തന്നെ ഉപയോഗിക്കണമെന്നൊന്നുമില്ല, സിമിലർ എഫക്റ്റ് കിട്ടുന്നതായാലും മതി. ഇത് ഡേ ബിഫോർ എന്ന് പറയുന്നത് നമുക്ക് ബുദ്ധിമുട്ടാണെങ്കിൽ we can say the day before ന് പകരം the previous day എന്ന് പറയാം. They have the same meaning. The previous day. Okay, tomorrow എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാൽ the next day എന്ന് പറയുന്നതിന് പകരം നമുക്ക് എന്താ പറയാം, the following day എന്ന് പറയാം. The following day എന്ന് പറയാം. So last week, the week before, or the previous week. So these are the changes that will happen with adverbs like time and place. Place-നും സംഭവിക്കും. Here എന്ന് പറയുന്നത് there and now. എന്തിനാന്ന് വെച്ചാൽ ഇതും ക്ലാരിറ്റിക്ക് വേണ്ടിയിട്ടാണ്. She said that we will meet here എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാൽ ഈ ഹിയർ എവിടെയാണെന്ന് നമുക്ക് മനസ്സിലാവില്ല. So it is to make it clear we use there. അപ്പോൾ അവർ കോളേജിൽ നിന്നിട്ടായിരിക്കും ഹിയർ എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞിട്ടുണ്ടാവുക. ഞാൻ വീട്ടിൽ വന്നിട്ട് ഹിയർ എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാൽ വീടാണെന്നുള്ളൊരു തെറ്റിദ്ധാരണ വരും. So it is to make it clear that we make such changes in the adverbs of time as well as the adverbs of place. Here becomes there. This becomes that in the reported speech. These in direct speech becomes those in indirect speech. So when we come back to this exercise, Sanjay asked me, what are you doing now? Sanjay inquired, or Sanjay asked, Sanjay asked what? See, the question word what is repeated. What തന്നെ? അതായത് WH ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻസിന് WH ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻ വേർഡ് തന്നെയാണ് നമ്മൾ യൂസ് ചെയ്യുക. വാട്ട് ആർ യു ഡൂയിങ് നൗ എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാൽ യെസ് ഓർ നോ ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻ അല്ല, ഇറ്റ്സ് ദ WH ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻ. സോ ദ WH ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻ വേർഡ് ഇസ് റിപ്പീറ്റഡ് ഇൻ ദ indirect speech also. what I was doing now becomes then. Next is an yes or no question. May I come in? Is yes or no question. So the question word use is if. May becomes might. May becomes might. Was playing is past continuous. Past continuous becomes past perfect continuous. So was playing becomes had been playing football when you becomes I, because he said to me. So Naushad told me that he had been playing football when I called. In the next sentence, tomorrow becomes the next day. So these are the changes in the time as well as in the place. So there are changes that happen in place also. With pronouns, you becomes, the teacher asked John why you becomes he, because John is already mentioned here, so there is no need to repeat John. So why he didn't speak in English. Next is an order. Request അല്ലെങ്കിൽ command ആണെങ്കിൽ we use to. The principal told the students not to make noise. Not to make noise. Don't make noise becomes not to make noise. So the to is introduced into the sentence. Not to make noise. Is it clear? Have you understood the rules? Okay. So apart from the verb changes, this is what you have to remember. There are changes that happen with time and also with place. അപ്പോൾ ടെൻസ് മാത്രമല്ല, വാക്കുകളിൽ ഈ ടൈമിനും പ്ലേസിനും ചേഞ്ചസ് വരും. And just to tell you in brief of what we discussed today, so these are the things that we learned about changing from direct speech to indirect speech. When you change from direct speech to indirect speech, these changes happen. What are the changes? First thing that you do is you remove the inverted commas. Okay, that is the first thing. Then we remove that inverted commas. Then we use connecting words. Connecting words like that is used. If it is a statement, if it is an exclamatory sentence or a plain statement, we use that. Exclamatory sentence അല്ലെങ്കിൽ plain statement ആണെങ്കിൽ that use ചെയ്യും. Okay, then present tense will change into past tense form, and past tense will change into its present tense, past perfect form. And what will happen to the past perfect form? Past perfect form will remain the same. Yes or no questions are reported with the help of either if or whether. You can use either if or whether. But for WH questions, there will be no change. They will remain the same. WH questions changes it will remain the same. There are no changes that we do with the WH questions. But if it is what തന്നെയാണ് നമ്മൾ റിപ്പോർട്ടഡ് സ്പീച്ചിൽ യൂസ് ചെയ്യുക. ഹൗ ആണെങ്കിൽ ഹൗ തന്നെ നമ്മൾ റിപ്പോർട്ടഡ് സ്പീച്ചിലും യൂസ് ചെയ്യും. And the major thing that you have to remember is, apart from these changes, there are changes that happens to the adverbs of time and place. We have to remember this, the time and place. Okay, now another, then noun, today becomes that day, etc. These changes, if you remember these changes also, then it will be easier to convert any kind of sentence into reported speech. For exam, you will not be given individual sentences, you will be given a small conversation. എന്നിട്ട് അതിലെ ഗ്യാപ്സ് ഇട്ട് ഫില്ല് ചെയ്യാനുള്ള എക്സസൈസ് പോലെയാണ് എക്സാമിന് ഉണ്ടാവുക. So it will be easy for you. You will not be given individual sentences to convert into reported speech. Rather, you will be given a small conversation in a paragraph, and there will be some blanks which have to be filled with the verbs which are given in brackets. So that is how this is presented for the exam. So that's it. We will take up a new topic in the next class. we'll stop for today. Thank you everyone for joining. Have a wonderful day. Goodbye.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.